Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Thursday, the 2nd of April. This is CTV News. Tonight, heartache and rage. Parents of a young murder victim bring both to the first of many court appearances. Gassing the gas tax. Growing calls for relief at the pumps as prices continue to soar. And student success. What started as an idea grows into a business for a young entrepreneur.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. An initial court appearance today for one of 3 people charged in a horrific murder case in Moncton. The proceedings were short, but marked by the appearance of the victim's parents, who remain stunned and outraged by what happened to their daughter before and after her murder. CTV's Derek Haggett spoke with them.
The parents of Melissa Price were present for a court appearance this morning for one of the people accused of killing her.
Why?
Yes,
she was my daughter.
Price's body was discovered in a garbage bin at the bottom of High Street in Moncton on February 15th. Devlin Oblinus was arrested less than a month later and charged with first-degree murder in the death of the 39-year-old Moncton woman. Oblinus made a brief court appearance via telephone from jail in Shediac. Court heard his lawyer was out of the country, so the matter was adjourned.
I believe in God, and I don't think it's my place to have vengeance, but I'm finding jump over chairs and stuff. If I saw him today, I don't know how I would react. My youth is gone, but I've still got a lot of fire in my veins.
Pat Price thanked homicide investigators for a fantastic job and says her daughter didn't deserve what happened to her.
40 this Saturday. 40, I have to sing happy birthday to a box, an urn.
Leandra Bouliou was arrested in March and also charged with first-degree murder in connection to Price's death. Police also arrested Joshua Martin last month and charged him with being an accessory after the fact of murder and indignity to a human body. Devlin Oblinus is scheduled to be back in court on April 16th for an in-person appearance. Pat and Peter Price say they'll definitely be here for that. The Prices say they plan on being at all of the upcoming court appearances for the 3 accused.
Every one of them. I don't care if I have to sleep out here in the tent, I'll be here.
None of the charges against any of the accused in this case have been proven in court. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
In the Halifax area, an 18-year-old man is facing more than 50 charges after a large cache of weapons, body armor, and police-related items were found in a home. Police say all of this unfolded quickly after they were called to a potential intimate partner violence situation. CTV's Hafsa Arif has details.
Police say it was around 8:40 Tuesday night when officers were called to a restaurant in this area after reports of a man wearing a balaclava outside. Investigators say the man was known to an employee inside. When officers arrived, the suspect tried to run, which is when police spotted what appeared to be a gun. The K-9 unit tracked a man down and an arrest was made. Officers identify the accused as 18-year-old Connor James Tobin of Eastern Passage.
The semi-automatic rifle that was loaded and located on him, as well as an overcapacity magazine. It was an intimate partner violence situation, so the person inside the restaurant as well as the accused were in a relationship at one point.
A search warrant to a home nearby where police say they found more guns, body armor, and RCMP patches. Tobin is now facing more than 50 charges, including possessions of a weapon for a dangerous purpose, carrying a concealed weapon, unauthorized possession of a firearm, criminal harassment, and disguise with intent. The possession of body armor without a valid permit and possession of police shoulder patches are laid under separate acts. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Eastern Passage.
Heavy police presence in a neighborhood in St. John earlier this evening. These shots taken just after 6 p.m. Along and behind Taylor Avenue. At least 7 police cruisers were on scene, with some officers seen carrying heavy firearms. There's no word yet what prompted the heavy police response. CTV News has reached out. We've yet to hear back.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
All right, it is Thursday evening, second day of April. Before we go any further, we'll check with Kaylin in the CTV Atlantic Weather Center because the weather is going to impact our long weekend, apparently.
Yeah, and as I talk about this weather system, there might be some viewers out there feeling like they have a little bit of deja vu because it is a very similar weather system to the one that impacted us earlier this week, including bringing in a mixture of some snow, some ice pellets, freezing rain, and rain. So conditions with this one are going to be quite varied across the Maritimes. Just wanted to spend a little bit of time sorting some of that out, focusing on which areas could be snowiest and which areas could be iciest. One of the snowiest areas is going to be right up in the north of New Brunswick. There you can see some expected snowfall totals could be in the range of maybe around 10 to 20 centimeters and possibly a little bit higher up towards Campbellton, Dalhousie. Now that's if we don't see a lot of ice pellets mix in. If a lot of ice pellets get in there, those overall amounts could come down a little bit, but it will certainly be enough still to create for some slippery spots. The other area that could pick up a fairly significant amount of snow, maybe exceeding 10 or 15 centimeters, will be right up in the Cape Breton Highlands. Other parts of the Maritimes, more likely to see an extended period of a mixture of a little bit of snow, but then turning over to some ice pellets and some light freezing rain. And this is going to give the risk of seeing some icy spots develop. Light ice, that would be like a little bit of an icy glaze. That could still create some slippery surfaces, though. And then you notice these pockets of oranges showing up around parts of New Brunswick into the southeast of that province, Prince Edward Island, northern eastern areas of Nova Scotia. Those are areas where that ice accretion or that collection of ice could come up a little bit more, maybe into the range around 2 to 5 millimeters. So with that type of forecast, it's no surprise that we have some weather alerts in effect. In the north of New Brunswick, where the conditions again are going to be snowiest, it is a snowfall warning with some snowfall amounts again 15 to 30 centimeters. Again, I think most would be in the 10 to 15 centimeter range, maybe a few pockets that get a little bit higher than that. And then a special weather statement that extends across much of the remainder of the Maritimes, calling for that period of snow turning through ice pellets and freezing rain. The changeover to rain is expected to take place a lot quicker in western areas of Nova Scotia. There it'll be mostly rain, about 5 to 15 millimeters. And same thing goes for parts of the southwest of New Brunswick, especially around the Bay of Fundy coastline. When I come back, we'll talk more about this weather system and what's in behind it for the remainder of the Easter weekend. Bruce.
Right you are. Thank you, Kaylin. Well, heading into the long weekend with a lot of people traveling, 2 major highways in Nova Scotia were blocked earlier today. This follows another RCMP cannabis raid at Potawatomi First Nation this morning. It all started about 7:30 a.m. Officers apparently went into a dispensary with a search warrant under the Cannabis Act on Highway 4 in the Cape Breton community. Police arrested 2 men and seized some cannabis products. Following that operation, police say a large group gathered to protest and block access to the highway. That forced police to abandon their vehicles and leave on foot. Late this afternoon, the highway was still blocked and police vehicles remain in Potawatomi, also known as Chapel Island. Meantime, another protest shut down part of Highway 102 inbound at exit 10. Traffic was moving, but slowly. This went on for several hours. Police say their liaison teams have been speaking with leaders of both groups. At last report, no arrests had been made in connection with the blockades. With the soaring cost of fuel, there are growing calls tonight across the country to cut the gas tax. But here in the Maritimes, provincial leaders say there may not be a whole lot of room to do that. Still, as CTV's Josh Smith tells us tonight, drivers in our region are getting tired of digging deeper and deeper every time they have to fill up.
At the pumps in Shediac, higher prices are starting to change habits.
So some people regularly fill the Supreme premium gas for him car, but due to the prices, he reduced his gas from the Supreme to regular gas because it is not affordable.
This gas station offers 5 cents off a liter if paying cash or debit, but most customers are fed up.
I mean, the gas prices are ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, when they really shouldn't be right now.
That frustration now part of a growing political debate, with federal Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre calling for a temporary cut to federal gas taxes, saying it would bring immediate relief.
A policy that would save 25 cents a liter, about $20 a fill-up, and $1,200 for the average family of 4 between now and the end of the year.
Drivers here say the proposed holiday tax would help.
Cut a tax, yeah, that would, because I mean, most of our Petroleum is all tax, most of it.
Oh, do you think with the prices of everything nowadays, you think the gas prices could go down instead of going up or something?
New Brunswick Finance Minister Renee Legacy says the province doesn't have the financial room to make it work.
It says right now, I don't think we have the means to make anything significant there.
And in Nova Scotia, Premier Tim Houston says while affordability remains a concern, cutting the gas tax isn't on the table.
We're doing what we can in this moment for Nova Scotians, but we'll always look at other opportunities, but there's nothing that we're considering right now.
Both provinces are facing significant deficits, with New Brunswick projecting about $1.4 billion and Nova Scotia around $1.2 billion, leaving drivers with a taxing problem at a time when affordability is top of mind. Josh Smith, CTV News, Shediac, New Brunswick.
People in the Windsor area of Nova Scotia are happy that federal approval has now been granted to complete some work on Highway 101 near that community. The work crosses the Avon River, and previous proposals hadn't been considered acceptable. Years of delays have forced motorists to reduce their speed and deal with lane changes, and that has resulted in a number of accidents.
It was a very dangerous section of highway, and multiple accidents throughout the years, and this will be a great day when it's finally complete.
Minister Joanne Thompson provided a Fisheries Act authorization to the province of Nova Scotia for the ability for the province to move forward with the construction of a new abattoir on the Avon River, along with an authorization to allow for the construction of 2 bridges.
The current Avon River abattoir was built in the late 1960s. All right, still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast, and we'll examine some Easter traditions around here. Coming up next, though, to the moon and back.
Sending a little piece of Canada into outer space is a real privilege and very exciting.
We'll tell you about some special cargo from the Maritimes that's hitching a ride to the moon on Artemis 2. That's next. Stay with us.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter.
60 seconds, 10 questions. If you can pull that off, you're going to win a grand.
Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for the $1,000 Minute.
If the moon mission weren't already fascinating enough, check this out. We know that Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen is on board Artemis 2, but you might not have known that the mission is also carrying 2,500 tree seeds from Fredericton. CTV's Avery McRae has the details, including the significance of the cargo.
Inside the walls of the National Tree Seed Center in Fredericton, thousands upon thousands of seeds from hundreds of Canadian species are stored. Here they're preserved and researched, but of late the center has been busy preparing some seeds for a once-in-a-lifetime mission.
Sending a little piece of Canada into outer space is a real privilege and very exciting.
4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition.
On board the historic Artemis 2 launch was not only Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen, but 2,500 seeds from 5 tree species. The 5 species selected represent the country and the challenges facing the forestry sector, the center says. The seeds are lodgepole pine, a timber officials say is a flagship for the warnings of climate change, eastern white cedar, commonly used in sacred medicines by Indigenous peoples, red maple for its iconic red leaf, white birch, which can be found nationwide, and eastern white pine, a species that stands tall in Canada's northern forests. As for the future of these seeds following their out-of-this-world trip, they will be returned to the Seed Center, and assuming they survive, they will be planted and grown for the public to see. Avery McRae, CTV News, Fredericton.
Thank you, Avery. Time for a quick little break, but when we return, your complete maritime weather forecast for the long weekend and beyond. Stay with us. Kaylin Mitchell coming up next. Thursday evening, second day of April today, easing into the long weekend and Good Friday. And I guess the weather is going to play a role in how we behave this weekend.
Yeah, I've seen overall better Easter long weekend forecast for the Maritimes. We've got that icy mix of weather coming in for Good Friday, which we're going to be talking more about here. And then there's a second system that's expected to arrive on Easter Sunday. That one, too, may start off as some snow turning through some ice pellets and freezing rain over to rain, especially for the province of New Brunswick. Quicker turnover rain, though, with that one for parts of Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. Still, that is another period of some wet weather in this long weekend forecast. The system coming up for tomorrow, though, that's with this low pressure system that's making its way through the Midwestern United States, pushing a warm front up into and across the Maritimes. And it's along and north of that front that we're going to be seeing, in some cases, that snowy and icy mix of precipitation. That does start off early Friday morning as a mix of light snow and ice pellets in the province of New Brunswick. Light rain into southwestern areas of Nova Scotia with a risk in the morning of a little bit of patchy freezing rain for the interior of the southwest. And then as we make our way into Friday afternoon, it's snow and ice pellets falling and accumulating in northern areas of New Brunswick. A mixture of some ice pellets and freezing rain for central and southeastern areas of New Brunswick. Snow, ice pellets, freezing rain for Prince Edward Island, and snow, ice pellets, freezing rain for northern eastern areas of Nova Scotia. Rain in the southwest of New Brunswick, rain in western areas of Nova Scotia. Now, the mix remains as we head into Friday evening and Friday night, though it does ease up a little bit, gradually becoming lighter as we make our way through the evening hours. By the time we get to Saturday morning, we're down to just a chance of some flurries and showers around the region. Taking a look at the winds in the forecast for tomorrow, they're going to be southerly in the afternoon, and they'll have some fairly widespread gusts between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. Taking a look at temperatures, if there's going to be a risk of seeing some freezing rain or ice pellets, some icy conditions, initially it does need to be a little bit colder, and low temperatures tonight are falling into a range around 0 to -6 for the region. Highs in the forecast for tomorrow in the northwest of New Brunswick late in the day. Some temperatures coming up between 0 and 3 degrees. In the northeast, though, mostly remaining between -2 and 0. Late in the day in the southwest of New Brunswick, some temperatures coming up between 3 and 6 degrees. And in the southeast, remains a little bit chillier with late day temperatures getting up to around +1, +2. That does mean that the last of that icy mix may finish as a little bit of rain. For Prince Edward Island during the day for tomorrow, temperatures pretty close to the freezing mark. So again, snow, ice pellets, maybe mixed with some freezing rain throughout much of the day. And into eastern areas of Nova Scotia, again, snow turning over to a little bit of an icy mix, maybe finishing as a bit of light rain, and a lot of high temperatures topping out between around -1 and +2. Northern and central areas of Nova Scotia for tomorrow, a risk of some patchy freezing rain away from the coasts, and then a change over to rain as we make our way from the morning into the afternoon. A risk of freezing rain will linger into the afternoon up in Cumberland and Colchester counties, and into the west of Nova Scotia as well. A risk of some patchy freezing rain in the interior, so towards areas like Ketchum-Kuchik Park, around Caledonia. That's first thing in the morning, and then turning over to rain after that as a lot of temperatures come up between 4 and 7 degrees. Taking a look at the extended forecast for New Brunswick on Saturday, there's a chance of some flurries, mostly in the southeast of the province and mostly in the morning. Then I got wintry mix there for Sunday. Again, it may, this next system start as a little bit of snow before turning over to rain. The change over to rain, though, does look like it'll happen a little bit quicker compared to what we're going to have for tomorrow. There'll be a chance of flurries after that on Monday, and then a mix of sun and cloud follows for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. The outlook for Nova Scotia includes some isolated flurries on Saturday. Some showers, drizzle, and fog in the forecast for Sunday. That's followed by a chance of showers on Monday of next week. Temperatures turn cool to chilly after that for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, looking like a mix of sun and cloud. And for Prince Edward Island in the outlook, some isolated flurries on Saturday, and then rain in the forecast for Sunday. That's followed by a chance of showers for the first part of Monday, and then a mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. Bruce.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good long weekend. All right, we'll step aside for just a couple of minutes, but stay with us. There is more to come.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back, many Maritimers. Of course, we're getting ready for Easter this weekend today. Even with the rising costs of food and gas and some messy weather ahead, as we've seen, lots of people, it seems, are just focused on spending time with family. Here's CTV's Emma Convey.
A scene representing the Garden of Gethsemane is prepared at this Catholic church in Halifax. Congregation members will gather here tonight for Holy Thursday.
Good Friday is kind of the day where we remember Jesus' death. And so it's more of a solemn feel to it, almost like a funeral for Jesus. And we venerate the cross, so people will kiss or bow to the cross. And then Easter Saturday, we celebrate the Easter Vigil. And this is the highlight of the entire year for Catholics. This is where we celebrate Jesus rising from the dead.
Others may be on the hunt for gifts or sweet treats.
Some cheesecake, we've got some crushed chocolate egg, candied eggs.
While there's no community egg hunt in Dartmouth this year, many families plan them in their own neighborhoods.
There's going to be a lot of people around, probably out brunching and going out to restaurants, coming here to Alderney Landing for the farmers market, getting set. Families doing things together is sort of what Easter is all about.
Maritimers have their own traditions as well.
The chocolate and spending time with family, of course, but mainly the chocolate.
One thing that may hold people back from buying chocolate is the price. But there are some savings this year for protein.
Turkey is basically priced the same. If you're into ham for the weekend, for Easter weekend, ham is actually on average about 5% cheaper compared to last year. Lamb is up plus 8%, and also beef is up about 14%. And unfortunately, on average, chocolate is about 15% retail more expensive than last year.
Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Emma. Time for one final break tonight. Coming up, a budding business.
We had $20 to start a business, and it taught me a lot about like the lean startup model.
Using the power of 3D printing to build an empire. That's next. Stay with us.
It's the best night of the year. Join Jose Bautista, Brett the Hitman Hart, and Jennifer Botterill at the Desjardins Sports Charity Dinner April 16th in Halifax. Funds raised support Canadian Progress Club Halifax. For tickets, visit progressclubhalifax.ca.
A St. Mary's University student has taken his entrepreneurial spirit and the power of 3D printers to launch himself into a whole new business. CTV's Callum Smith has his story tonight.
Preparing his prints, it's been a balancing act for Braden White, managing school and his new business.
It's been a little bit over 6 months since I've been doing this. It was busy, long days. Sometimes I would stay up till like 12 and then wake up the next day super early because I had to get my next print going and get that going while I was at school.
Like many small business owners, starting out has come with challenges, including where to set up shop.
I started in my parents' basement in their exercise room. It's now kind of became BW Works shop there. Yeah, do all my packaging and everything, and yeah, sorry, Mom.
He's always wanted to make personalized keepsakes, things that make people say, remember when. But it's also about creating advertising for more business-to-business opportunities. Then some inspiration from his studies.
We had $20 to start a business, and it taught me a lot about like the lean startup model. And really, like with that, I was looking to try and manufacture. At the time, we were making these bottle openers that were Huskies, and I was really looking around to try and find some places to make them.
Manufacturing things like keychains, which have made their way into the campus store, unique MVP awards from his time playing hockey, light boxes, and ornaments. All worthwhile as his mission to grow continues.
That's the key thing, is perseverance. You got to keep going.
Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Callum. That is your late news for tonight. Just a reminder, if you joined us late or you'd like another look at any of our stories, you can always visit us online, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It is your home for news. I'm Bruce Frisco. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Have a good evening. We'll see you again real soon.